at this apartment building to see your girlfriend.
Yes,
You
miss.
parked your car, and the victim was yelling at you from the window about how you or where you parked your car. And then
Yes.
you took out your gun and you shot it at his car.
Yes, miss.
Okay. How many times did you shoot your gun?
Twice. 2 times.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
2 weeks later, I got locked up. So that's why I got the gun. The gun was clean. I was supposed to be, it was clean because I bought it on the street. But the gun came out was stolen. I didn't know that. The police just told me that.
The grenades and the stuff that they found in the apartment.
We're about to watch the parole hearing for a Connecticut man that I just can't quite pin him as to where he fits in terms of felons. You know what's weird about this case is that this is his first felony. He's a first-time offender, but what happens is that he pulls up outside the house, he double parks. A man from the top of the apartment building is yelling at him because he parked too close to his car. We all know that guy, right? But what he does, remember, he has no arrest record. He pulls out his gun that is illegal, that is stolen, and he shoots the man's car. Now, when the police come and they arrest him, what do they find? They find another gun. They find grenades. They find a lot of Pepsi Cola. This was a strange case, and that's pretty much what we have. Now, you're going to hear from the parole board. They kind of like unravel this and get a little bit more info, but it is strange. It is something else. But as we say in Connecticut, don't drink the water. Now, there is a surprise ending to this, so make sure you stick around. And with that, let's jump in.
Please state your name and number, inmate number for the record. Mr. Nolasco,
I'm sorry, yes.
can you please state your name and inmate number for the record?
My name is Jaime Nolasco. My MA number is 444179. Thank you.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Jaime Nolasco Alvarado, inmate number 444179. He is serving a sentence of 2 years, 6 months jail, followed by 3 years probation for carrying a pistol without a permit and threat one with hazard to children. As of today, records reflect the parole eligibility date of August 27, 2024. There is no victim input in this case. There is no federal accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed. It shows the offender has not completed any programming during his incarceration. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score falls within the low range of risk for recidivism. Mr. Nolasco, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Okay.
Do you have a statement that you want to share?
Yeah, I was gonna say like I want another opportunity. Like I know I made a mistake, The jail time is just like a therapy for me. So I'm doing all my program. I got all the paperwork for the program here. So I finished the program next week. The program that I gotta do, voice it. So I finished next week. So I'm all set with all the program. And I want to go home to share my time with my kids, try to go home and work. I did a mistake, and I don't want to come back in jail. So the mistake that I did, it just, I did my time, and this is like a therapy for me right now. I got my job waiting for me. I'm electricity, so I got everything set up. When I get home, I could just start working the next day. I don't want no contact with the victim. I'm not gonna have no contact with the victim. So I'm gonna have an order protest like that. I just be away. I don't want to get in trouble. This is my first case ever in jail, so I'm trying to be better for my kids. I got 3 kids. They're waiting for me.
Okay, Mr. Nolasco Alvarado. I appreciate your opening comments. And from what my record said, you were in the tier 2 invoices and you got 2 DRs. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
So when did you get back into the programs?
I'm supposed to got programmed today, but I went over there and told him that I got the hearing today. So I got 2 class left. So next week, my program finished. I got all the paperwork in here. So in 2 weeks, I got the certificate.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So the way it works is there's 3 of us and we're each going to take turn to ask you questions. And then when we're done with the questions, we will deliberate on the record and give you our answer today. So
Thank you.
I'm going to ask Mrs. Smith Jaime A to begin.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. So, Mr. Nolasco Alvarado, you're charged with having a gun and discharging the gun into a vehicle
Yes, miss.
in a threatening manner.
Yes, miss.
Okay, so my question is, why would you do that?
I was angry, the victim was not in the car. The victim was at his house. He was yelling at me from the window. So, I was angry and I shoot out the car. I think twice not shooting to him because it was not for him. I've never had a problem with the victim before. So I don't know. It was a misunderstanding. And then, I'm trying to do it like, oh, don't. So I was a misunderstanding. And see, I see the victim right now. I just apologize to him and I said that's never gonna happen because I never have contact with the victim.
Okay, I'm gonna say, one quick second, I have a question for you. So you did not know the victim?
I do know the victim, but I didn't have conversation with him.
Then
I
why
never
did you
talked to
shoot
him.
it? Then why did you shoot at his car?
Because I parked right next to the car and he yelling at me. I think he was drinking or something and he was yelling at me. And then that's when we start arguing, and then I just shoot up the car.
So I got a quick question. So he was yelling at you because of how you parked your car?
Yeah, because I parked
Okay.
right next to his car. Yeah.
All right. And why did you have a gun on? You had
I
two
have a
guns.
gun. Yes. I went to do my gun permit, right? I got this is in the police record. So I was at 1 week, I was supposed to get my 1 or 2 weeks, I was supposed to get my permit. So I like gun. Now I'm not doing nothing with gun. I'm not, I want to play with gun right now because I can't get my permit. So 2 weeks later, I got locked up. So that's why I got the gun. The gun was clean. I was supposed to be, it was clean because I bought it on the street. But the gun came out was stolen. I didn't know that, the police just told me that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had 2 guns. Did you buy both guns on the street?
It was an old school one. So I found it with some magazine. I'm electricity, so we do demolition. So I found that gun in the house, but it was old school one. Yeah,
Okay.
and the one I bought, yeah.
Okay.
I
And you were
actually,
in the process of getting a gun permit?
I was in the process, yeah, but I can't get it no more because I got that charger.
Right.
Yeah.
You cannot ever get it.
No, and I don't want to play with gun ever again because I want to go home and spend my time with my kids.
Did you live in the same building as the victim?
No.
Okay.
I'd be way
So
far
you
away.
had never met the victim before?
Yes. He lived in the 3rd floor where my girlfriend was living at. That was my girlfriend. But me and him, we
Okay.
broke up. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So let me just get my story straight. So you were at this apartment building to see your girlfriend.
Yes,
You
miss.
parked your car and the victim was yelling at you from the window about how you or where you parked your car. And then
Yes.
you took out your gun and you shot it at his car.
Yes, miss.
Okay. How many times did you shoot your gun?
Twice. 2 times.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And you bought that gun off the street.
Yes.
It turned
miss.
out to be illegal. It was stolen.
Yes,
And the
miss.
other gun you found in a building in an apartment building you were working in.
Yes, it was some magazine in there too. Like
Okay.
the magazine don't match the gun. It was magazine in it. Yeah.
Now, when the police also searched that backpack, they found some bags of cocaine,
No.
baggies with cocaine in them.
No. I don't have no drug in there. No
Now,
drug. No.
okay. So did they find the cocaine in the police car?
I don't know. I don't got no because with 2 people in there, but I didn't have no contact with drug. I was not drunk and I was not intoxicated when I got locked up.
But did you have drugs on you that you were
No.
trying to get rid of in the car? No?
No, miss. No, miss.
That's not what the police report says.
And they never saw me that, so I never had drug charger in my case. Actually, you know, when the parole come and see me, they told me that I got some liquid for a bomb at my house, and I said, liquid for a bomb. So I remember I drive the little remote car, the gasoline remote car. So with the bottom, with the liquid, you know, the liquid that you put in the little remote car. So
Okay.
that's, I explained to him, so that's they found in my house. That's the only thing that they found in my house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, today we're talking about the gun that you
Yes.
did not have a permit to have, and the threatening charge with the danger to harm the victim.
Yeah, miss.
That's today what we're talking about. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is these disciplinary reports that you have. So you have 3 disciplinary reports now. 3 tickets.
Yeah, miss.
Okay. 1 for Suboxone, 1 for not being in your bunk, and a new one for contraband or intox. And that was just June 26, 2024.
Yes, miss.
So why are you getting in trouble at the prison when you tell me you're there for therapy?
I know, miss. I did that when I was on call again. I don't know why I did that. They test me again last week and I'm clean. I haven't touched nothing. I'm clean already. Well,
Okay,
I know
well,
I was
That's a good thing, but you weren't clean. And yet
Yeah.
you used, what did you use?
it's just marijuana. It was marijuana.
Use marijuana.
Yeah.
And
I
then
don't
you
use no
have,
drug. I don't use no drug on the street. Like actually, I even told the bros when I was in the street doing the barbecue, I was smoking weed. Yeah, that's the only thing I use on the street. I'm not drinking. I don't like drinking. Yeah.
okay, because I want you to understand that for today's hearing, part of what we're deciding is if you are suitable, if you've done well in the prison, done programs, stayed out of trouble, so that you can go out to parole and not have any problems in the community. So when you get 3 tickets, 1 within the last 2 months and 1 a month before that, we question whether or not you are ready to be back in the community.
And I just say I apologize, and I just want another opportunity. Like I never been in jail before. This is my first time, so it was hard for me. And I just want another opportunity. Well, bottom of my heart,
All right.
and I
So you're-
promise.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
You
And I promise
what?
I'm not coming back to jail. Like my son, I got 3 kids. They're waiting for me. They cry. So, because I was a good father for my kids, I always working. I got my record working, my taxi, everything. I'm electricity. So it was 1 month that I was going crazy and then everything happened. Never been in jail and nobody called the police on me, never before.
Why were you going crazy? What
I
was
don't know,
going
because
on?
I was like, I was separated from my baby mom, and then I don't know, for some reason she left. She left me by myself. So that's what I ended up being in jail. But we were together when I came to jail. So, but I was messing around with another woman. Right now, I'm not messing around with her. So I'm with my baby mom, you know. So she rented an apartment for me to make parole in her house with my kids.
Did you have another case pending in court with a co-defendant?
No, I'm
No?
not no co-defendant, no, miss.
So you're taking the tier 2 program and voices right now?
Yes. And if it is, I got all the paperwork
Hang on,
right here.
one
and
second.
And if, okay.
I can't confirm the tier 2 because it's not in the system, but it does say that he's currently participating in what's.
Okay, so we don't have any verification that you're doing the tier 2 program, only that you're doing the voices program.
But tier 2 is in there. I'm doing tier 2 right now. And even it's here in AP. What I'm taught is here right now. So, but the light channel. Oh, there you go. So I don't know why it's not on the record.
Okay, how many classes have you done in the tier 2 program?
4 class.
4
It's
classes.
10 class. Yeah, it's 10 class. I got 6 left.
So you still have more to go. And the voices program, how many more?
The boys program, I got 2 left. I got 8.
Okay.
So it's 1 week. I go twice a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you are married and getting a divorce right now?
Yes, I'm doing all the paperwork. I'm doing in jail right now.
And you have 3 children. Who
Yes,
would you
ma'am.
live with who would you live with if you get out? Yeah.
With my
Who would
baby
you live
mom.
with if you get out?
With my baby mom.
Have you talked to
With my
her?
kid.
Have you
Yes,
talked
I
to
talk
her?
to her. Yeah, I talk to her every day, and my kid too. Every day, yeah.
All right. And how about work?
I got a job. I'm electricity, so I got a job waiting for me right now.
Back with the same company or just working
Yes,
as an
same company.
electrician?
Yes, same company, yeah.
Tell me who Solomon Mejias Lopez is.
I'm sorry.
Tell me who Solomon is. Solomon Lopez?
Yes, that
Who
was
is
my
that?
friend. That was my friend's friend. He was living with me for a couple of days because he was leaving to Puerto Rico. So he got another case that I didn't know that. So he came from Denver. So I guess he was hiding. So when I got locked up, he was with me in the car. So when the police stopped me, I just put my hand up because I got the gun in the car. So I just put my hand up and put it back. And then, they put the handcuff for me. They took me. So after that, I never know nothing about the Solomon.
I don't understand. So he was with you when the police arrested you.
Yes. Miss.
Did he also have a gun on him?
No, the 2 gun, it was my gun. He didn't have no gun on him. It was my gun.
And he was living with you?
He was staying with me for like a month already.
How do you know him?
My boy know him from Denver. But my baby mom know him too. Like with my baby mom, she wasn't with me. They were living together. Like they were renting out our little room. So that's how we met him.
When you were in court and you pled guilty to these charges, what did they tell you that you were pleading guilty to?
I'm pleading guilty with the shootings and the threatening.
Yeah. Well, the threatening with the
I play guilty to that. I just, so when it's a video and everything, you guys could go and look for the video, you know. I went over there and I did it because I even went in my own car. So, you know, I wasn't hiding. I just, you know, because I didn't have no problem with the victim. So I just went like that, like personal. So that's why I play guilty to all my charges.
And do you have another charge too for conveying unauthorized items into the correctional institution that you got a conditional discharge for?
No, that was the charge for the Sebastian.
But they charged you for the Suboxone.
Yes, they're
You have
running
another
concurrent.
conviction.
Yeah, they're running concurrent because that was my cellie. He was bonded out and he left it to me. So I don't use no drugs. So I just did it to survive. That was like me being there for like 2 weeks. And I said, I don't know why I even did that.
But you
That
pled
was
guilty to it.
Yeah, because it was myself. I was understood by myself. So it's there, you know. I didn't even know the victim, the person that gave it to me, because he bonded out. So I didn't know his name and nothing. So I got plead guilty for it.
All right, Mr. Alvarado Nolasco. I do not have any other questions. Thank you for answering my question.
Thank you, Bianca.
So, Mr. Nolasco, you were living with Melissa, who had 3 children for you. And then you started dating the person that you're married to.
Yes, miss.
And then when your girlfriend found out about your infidelity, did she throw you out or something like that?
She left. She left to Denver to her mom's house.
And your co-defendant, you didn't know that he was listed as your co-defendant?
No, miss.
All right, well, I have no further questions. We'll just deliberate on the record.
Thank you.
All right, well, so aside from what we have here today and all that transpired from the original arrest, Mr. Alvarado Nolasco only has the 2 motor vehicle charges. So he's never been on parole or probation before. But then he gets arrested on these charges, which sort of snowballs into a host of other things. And I'm not getting the sense that he is clear about what has transpired for him in terms of his criminal convictions. The positive side of things are that, yes, his overall risk to recidivate is low. He has, aside from what I just mentioned, his criminal history is 2 motor vehicle charges. He was working. He has a trade as an electrician apprentice. You know, the mother of his children would say she would sponsor him back into the community. What is troubling for me are that he hasn't completed the programs. So it's really kind of hard to gauge if there's any benefit to them. And 3 disciplinary reports in the very short time frame that he has since he's been in. So his release date is the end of August. His end of sentence date I have is September 2025. I don't think
We have to go by the discharge date. That the one we go by?
It's close by.
is it September 2025? His end of sentence date?
Close by September, October.
I have October 26th, 25 based on the system, but let me just do a little bit more digging.
Okay,
Right,
I thought I got,
talking, yes.
so I think Mr. Nolasco would do well with community supervision. He has 3 years of probation. I don't have him suitable to go out to parole today. So he does have about 9 months. No, he has about a year and a month or two to his end of sentence. I wouldn't be opposed to bringing him back to see if he could remain DR free in the facility, to finish the programs, see how he does. It's a very short amount of time. So the bottom line is I do not have him voted to parole today. I think the charges are very serious. I don't think there's really rhyme or reason for how he responded. He could probably benefit from an anger management program on top of what we have here. But I would also not be opposed to bringing him back in, say, 6 months to see if things have progressed in a better direction. That's just my thoughts.
I agree with that. I had him coming back after programming. See if we can put together some time. Just that doesn't have any, he hasn't been on supervision in the community, and his criminal history is like motor vehicle stuff. So having him on parole be prior to probation.
Okay.
There's no way for me to do the program.
You cannot say anything while we're talking, remember? Okay,
Just to confirm what you have, so, November 26th.
Oh,
for the
November.
discharge date, right, because that's the date where it go back. So for me,
Sorry, you looking for the parole eligibility or his actual EOS?
His EOS.
November 26th, 2025.
Thank you. I have to see where I got that other date.
so, his, previous charges, he paid, illegal operating under suspension of fine for both. So for this current charge that he has, carrying weapons without permit and the threatening first with the, what do they call it? Hazardous terrorist, whatever. And that goes to the stuff that they found, the grenades and the stuff that they found in the apartment. His co-defendant that he said was living with him is someone that has a pretty serious criminal history. And we can all see what they were. He also has charges that are pending for carrying a pistol without permit, illegal possession of weapon in a motor vehicle, stealing of firearms, illegal transfer of pistol purchase revolver. And I don't know if he's at McDougal and it's conspiracy to commit murder and illegal possession of weapon in a motor vehicle. And then he was minimizing that he knew the guy, but he was living with him for a short period of time. So for me, and I know this is his first charge, I think the charges for me are serious. He only got 2.5 years or 3 years probation. And so for me, it's a deny, and I would not be in favor of his return.
So when do you want to hear him again?
I would say February 2025. That's 6 months.
What do you want him to do?
Why don't you
Anger
finish?
management,
Yes. Finish.
complete, hear true and voices,
Mm-hmm,
no DRs.
mm-hmm.
What else?
That's, the anger management adds to his OAP. I don't know if we'd have time to do much else.
Okay, and what are your reasons?
Inadequate evidence of offender change and inadequate institutional program participation.
And yeah, I had nature and self-inspection, but it doesn't matter at this
And
point.
poor institutional adjustment.
Yeah, that's theoretic. Are you okay with those, Mr. P, or you want?
Yeah, the inadequate institutional program participation and evidence then changed that one.
Yeah.
Right,
So
Yeah.
those two.
and she said poor institutional.
Yeah.
So, yes. So for me, my reason for denial, I included nature and circumstances of the current events.
Okay, I'll add that in.
Yeah. So Jamie Nolasco Alvarado, inmate number 444179. There's a motion to deny your request for discretionary parole for these reasons: nature and circumstances of the current offense, inadequate institutional program participation and evidence of offender change, and poor institutional adjustment. But there's a majority decision to give you a rehear date of February 2025 with the recommendation to complete anger management, tier 2 voices with no disciplinary reports. There's second.
So
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Alvarado. They're giving you a rehear date of February.
February 2025. So you need to complete your programs and not get any new tickets.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see you then.
I guess I'm a waive. I just gonna waive it and do my time because I thought I could do the program when I was like and out. I don't know if I
Well-
could do it.
You can make your own decision about what you want to do.
I don't know.
But we
I
think you
understand
need to do the programs to have some, to do better in the community.
that. Yeah, but they never told me I gotta do the program. See, they would've
Okay,
told me I would've
we're
formed it.
all set. We denied and gave you a new date,
No parole for tape.
okay?
Thank you.
So we
Thank you,
thank,
miss.
yeah,
Thank you, miss.
Here for Mr. Nolasco Alvarado, inmate number
Okay.
444179. You're all set,
Okay.
Mr. Nolasco.
All right.
And time moves quickly because here we are, March 25th. I guess it took a little bit longer than they thought, and he is going to have a second chance. Why? It looks like he probably completely transformed himself. He's an entirely different person, reformed, ready to tackle on life.
good morning, sir. What's your name?
Jamie Nolasco.
Okay, give me 1 second, sir.
Do you think that's the result we're going to get? Well, before we watch it, we're going to hear a quick word from our sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Aura. Did you know companies can take months to report a data breach? On average, it's 277 days before you even find out that your personal data has been exposed. Think about that, 277 days. That means that your sensitive information like your email, your phone number, even your financial details can already be out there. Now, it's not just one company, but major banks and corporations, they've all experienced breaches in the past year. Maybe you've seen about it in the news. Your information could be compromised right now and you wouldn't even know it. Now that's why I use Aura. Aura scans the dark web and alerts me fast if personal information has been leaked. If someone tries to open a bank account or credit card in my name, I'll know right away. I have been using Aura for about maybe 9 months now. Something that they also do that really helps me a lot is keep spam callers away. That's a big bonus for me. They actually remove my name from those spam caller lists. Now, they also provide up to $5 million in identity theft insurance and a full suite of tools to keep you protected. And this is all, it's all done in one app. You can try Aura for free for 14 days at aura.com/Mandoo. And that's 2 weeks 2 weeks to find out if your data has already been exposed before you hear from a company months later. So why wait? Get some peace of mind and try out Aura for free. Take control of your digital security right now. And now, let's go back to the hearing.
My name is Jaime Nolasco, and my MA number is 444179.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Jaime Nolasco, number 444179. He is serving a sentence of 6 years with 2 years and 6 months to serve, followed by 3 years of probation for carrying a pistol without a permit and threatening first. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of August 27, 2024. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan. It has been reviewed and shows that since his last hearing, DOC records indicate that he completed voices 2 weeks after his hearing. He has not completed any additional programs. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score on the SRT falls within the low range of risk for recidivism. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Mr. Alvarado, tell us why you think you deserve parole, sir.
I think I'm ready because this time is like a therapy for me. So I'm trying to do the best for my kid. So I'm trying to go home, even in the bracelets. I just trying to make it to the program, home and work. It don't matter how long I be with the bracelet on. It don't matter. I just trying to do good for my kids. I never haven't been home yet, so I'm trying to make it the best good possible to be home, so I can support my family. And I can be like, you guys can put me any program, I can do it, be in the bracelets. That's my goal, to go home and survive for my kids.
Okay. Well, we appreciate that information, Mr. Alvarado. This is a rehear for you. You were before the board last August,
Yes.
and they asked you to do a few things. So we will discuss those things, and once we are done asking you our questions, we'll deliberate and give you our decision.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Best of luck to you, sir. Mr. Sazowskis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
So at the last hearing, they asked that you complete anger management, tier 2, and voices before this hearing. And you did finish voices. You finished the voices program?
Yes, sir.
And you were in the tier 2 program, right? But you
Yes, sir. It was an issue with the lady with the tier 2 program, that she got kicked out of the program, and then we couldn't complete the program.
okay. Did they tell you if you're going to start it again?
They never told me nothing, so they just moved me to Osborne, and after that, I can't finish. I can't start it.
I read through your interview with the parole officer, and she was asking you about guns and the gun that you had. And you talked about how you, that you like guns, and that,
Yeah, I used to, not no more, because I want to be in there for my kids. So I got a lot of history with that. So I don't want to do nothing to do with guns. So she told me I got registered for 5 years. I said it's fine.
Okay.
Like, I could be registered for 10 years, fine. Like, I'm not dealing with guns.
so you don't plan to try to get a gun when you get out? You're not going to try?
No, sir.
And you understand you're on the deadly weapon offender registry, like you said, so you'll have to register and they'll be checking on you to make sure that you don't have guns.
Yes, sir. She explained that to me, and I told her I could be 10 years. See, I moved from different address. I give her my address. I just trying to do good. She told me, oh, you want to go to Halfway House or you want to be in Bristol? I said, my wife, she got her house, so I want to be home. Put me in the bracelet for whole years, it don't matter. I just want to make it from home to work and any program that you guys put me to do.
Okay. Do you understand how serious what you did is? Do you understand how serious that was?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I realized that.
And someone could have died.
I
You know, it didn't appear that you understood the severity of what you did at the beginning. You know, you weren't supposed to have a gun at the first place. You really weren't licensed or any of that. And then you fired it off in a place where there are people around, you know?
I apologize. I do great that. I apologize.
Okay. I'm glad you understand, you know, the dangerousness of that.
Yes.
Let's talk about the disciplinary reports. You had some problems with discipline before the last hearing. And at the hearing, they asked that you not get any more disciplinary reports before this hearing.
Yes, sir.
But you weren't able to do that. You got 3 more reports for discipline.
Yes, sir.
And I believe that that's part of the reason why you didn't finish tier 2, and also you didn't get anger management, because when you have those disciplinary reports, you know, they kind of put you to the back of the line and you're on hold for a little while, because they want to give people that are able to behave and follow the rules opportunities at programs. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you caused some of these problems with you not receiving programs by getting the disciplinary reports. Can you tell us what happened? Let's talk about the fighting. You had a fighting disciplinary report, which is pretty serious, you know, for us.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, the fighting was not even a fight. I had an injury on my leg, so we was playing card, and I sit in the chair, and the guy just pushed me, and then the CEO was there, and then they take me to the box, and they took the guy too, but you know, nobody pressed charges. I didn't, not even swim on him. He just pushed me, so I got a can because I injured my leg on Robinson playing softball, so that was it. It was nothing like punch and nothing. He just pushed me.
And then they swarmed in, they stopped it fast.
Yeah, nobody swim. He just did like boom, push me. So in Robinson, the day room is like right next to the bubble, so the seal is just right there. Well, they see it, the guy pushed me, and then you know they came. Yeah.
Okay.
But it was no swimming. He didn't swim on me. I didn't swim on him.
Okay. So, and then you had a contraband where they found a pipe in your cell, and then you found Pruno, and that Pruno was just in this year, January. So
Yeah.
what was going on? Why did you have Pruno in your cell?
I know, but the pipe, it was another issue. I just got to the cell, and then I went to child, they found the pipe. I said, I'm not smoking. I give you my piss test. So I give him my piss test, came out clean, and still take me to the box.
So the pipe wasn't yours?
I'm sorry?
The pipe didn't belong to you? Is that what you're
No.
saying?
No, sir. So they take me to the box because they found it like in the bottom piece. I have bottom bone pass. So they found it in the bottom piece, not even in my bed. So they just charged me for it.
Okay. What about the Pruno that they found in January?
Yeah, the Pruno was mine. I told him, yeah, it was mine. It was 3 cups of Pruno. But it's illegal. I understand that.
Well, the bigger thing is that your decision making and thinking, you know, you have a parole hearing coming up, right?
Sir, yes, sir.
I mean, is the Pruno really more important than going home to your family? You know?
No, sir. No, sir.
I mean, that's the problem, so you're not thinking ahead, you know what I mean, about your future, and you're making impulsive decisions that are going to affect what's going to happen to your family, you know?
I know, sir. I apologize.
Yeah, I understand it's just a glass of Pruno, whatever you said, but it's bigger than that, because it goes to your decision making, and you're not thinking things through. And, you know, something like that. Now, the Pruno, you know, you're not going to get programs. Now you have disciplinary reports. You know, I understand your excuses for the other 2, but, you know, you really don't have that kind of an excuse for the Pruno. You know?
I know, sir.
All right. How do you think you changed since you've been incarcerated? How do you feel different?
I changed because I put my mind not in the street no more. And then I've been writing everything down, what I want to do. So I'm electricity. So my cousin, I don't got license years because my boss died when I was in jail. But my cousin, he went to school for electricity, so he got his license. I got all my bus contract, some of my friends, so I could just go out there and tell them, oh, I got a license, my cousin got a license. So they're gonna give me the job, you know? So I just gotta make my schedule with parole, see I come out in the bracelets or something, you know, to give it the address what I'm gonna be working at or the program that I'm gonna do.
Well, I understand that you were apprentice electrician with your cousin. I read about that. But I want to know how you feel different since you've been incarcerated before you came in, making bad decisions, shooting a gun until now. Do you feel like you're making better decisions? Do you feel like you've changed?
Yes. I feel like I'm changed because I was speaking with my baby mom and telling her I don't want nothing to do with gun. I don't got, you know, I told her I don't got license yet. I don't want no car because I don't want to drive and then come back to jail for valet, probation, me driving without license, stuff like that. I was saying to my baby mom. Even last night we were talking about that. You know,
Okay, well, that's a good start. That's a good start. Thinking about things in the future that could get you in trouble, even minor things like driving without a license, right?
Driving without a license. This is the important thing because you could get caught, even somebody hit you.
Yeah.
Then you driving with the kids in your car, and you get a DCA roll, and then I'm coming back to jail. So that's the same thing that I put on my mind that I'm not doing it.
That's how you should be thinking. You should have been thinking like that before you had that Bruno, really, you know?
Before I have all my case, I shouldn't think about that.
Yeah.
No?
What about the Voices program? Do you remember taking that?
Yeah, I complete Voices, yeah.
What did you learn? What do you feel like you learned from that?
I learned so you feel something for somebody, you gotta speak, not like react, because when you react, that make you feel angry and make you in trouble. So, you know, you gotta speak, and then you gotta think what you're doing, not like just do it just to do it. You gotta do like a process in your mind. You know, don't hurt nobody because you hurt somebody, you think you only hurt that person. No, you hurting your family too because you hurt that person, but you come back to jail, so that's being hurting your own family too. You know, so it's certain thing that I learned a lot for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. All right, let's talk about your release plan. What, like, if you get out on parole, where do you think you're gonna live? Like, where are you gonna live at?
Right now I'm living in Waterbury with my baby mom, but I told her I don't want to live in Waterbury. I want to go like to little better town for my kids to go to school. So we was planning that. I said, okay, I'm gonna make it home. Thank God that I make it home, and then when I get my stuff situated, and then we talk to parole, and then I want to move like Torrington, you know, something like for my kids to go to school. Cause I always think about my kids. I got 3 kids, so I got 2 daughters. So I don't want to be with my daughter in school. I mean, in Waterbury school, you know, it's kind of a little bit dangerous in Waterbury. So we were planning moving to Danbury or Torrington. Actually, my whole family live in Danbury too, so you know. So I'm just trying to go a little town that could be better for my kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you have family support too, like in Danbury, that maybe it can help with your kids and other things.
Yeah, my
mom,
my sister, my grandpa, my grandma, everybody, my whole family from my mom's side live in Danbury.
Okay, so did you ever talk to you about people, places, and things? Did you ever hear people say that?
No, sir.
So in some of the programs, they'll talk about, you know, not being in the same place that you were before when the crimes happened, you know? So all this stuff happened. Yes. So a lot of this stuff happened for you in Waterbury, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So people know you're going to come back into the same environment. Could be a problem. You understand that?
Yes. I mean, my wife, she moved to a different apartment, but that was the same thing I was telling her. I don't want to be in Waterbury because a lot of people know me. So me putting my mind straight that I want to go to work and want to do things right for my kids, the best thing that we can do is just get out from Waterbury. It could be any town, but just move from Waterbury, you know? So
Yeah, regardless of what happens today, I would encourage you to stick with that plan. And then when you have an opportunity to move, especially if you can move near your family and you have support, I would, if it was me, that's what I would do. Being in the same environment where all that stuff was going on is not healthy for you, and it's
not healthy for me, yeah.
very risky that you'll end up back incarcerated. You know, it's a risky situation.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I'm scared.
All right,
I'm scared to come back to jail, to be honest with you. So that's why I'm trying to like move from Waterbury.
Yeah. Okay, well, I appreciate you answering my questions. That's all I have for today. My colleagues are gonna have some questions for you, okay? And we'll see where we go from there.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Sazowskis. So, Mr. Alvarado, well, I appreciate the insight that you've gained during this period of incarceration. You have to see the pattern. And the pattern is that regardless of where you are, you still cannot refrain from getting into trouble. You received outside charges before your new bit, before your first parole hearing, and then you go back, they give you another chance because they feel that you really need some help and you could benefit from parole supervision, and you squander that opportunity as well because of your poor decision making. You can be in the worst place or the good in the best or the best place and still get into trouble because of your decisions. You know, I'm disappointed that you couldn't follow through with the last panel's recommendation, because it really was, given the nature of your crime, which was extremely serious, you put so many people in harm's way. And I was happy to hear you talk about the Voices program, because you're right. Your actions don't just, it's not just you that's affected or impacted by your actions. You talked about your family and your children, but other people's families and other people's children. It goes full circle. So you really need to be focused on making better decisions. So, but I got kind of lost when you were talking about the Voices program, you know, and some of the things that you learned before that, because the Voices program really does focus on the victims and the impact, right? But you said something about
Thinking things through before you react.
yeah. I'm like that really, maybe I missed that part when we were being trained on that program, but you need to do that regardless of it. You don't need Voices to tell you that you have to think before you act. You're a grown man, 32 years old.
You are trash. Yeah.
You know, your crimes are serious, Mr. Alvarado. I mean, all of them involve violence. And then you come in and you try to convey drugs into the prison. You have Pruno, you're fighting, it's just too much. It really is too much, with the exception of that one ticket for the pipe that you say that wasn't yours. All the other ones is you, it's all you. So while I can appreciate your desire to do better for yourself and your children, I don't think that you've demonstrated that since you've been in the facility. And unfortunately, I will not be able to support your discretionary parole, because you have not shown us that you're ready to go out into the community and make better decisions. And that's based on your disciplinary infractions, sir, and your lack of program participation. So I guess.
I just want another opportunity. I just want an opportunity, and I can promise I can do any program that you got put me in. Like, I just need an opportunity.
You had an opportunity though,
and
you messed up, not just once or twice. You got 3 different tickets after they specifically told you what they needed you to do. So, you know, you tied our hands, sir. It's not our fault. It's honestly the earnest fault on you. You did this to yourself. You have to do better. You have to, if you want us to believe in you, you have to believe in you first. It starts with you.
I
Ms.
understand that.
Turner.
I'm concerned for you that you have not been able to complete an addiction services program, especially given that during this period of incarceration, you've used marijuana and Suboxone and Pruno. You know, we don't typically see someone who has violated the rules in all the ways that you have related to addiction. Usually it's a little more varied. And it concerns me that you haven't addressed the issues, the underlying issues behind your abuse of substances such that you'd be in prison continuing to abuse substances and then conveying whatever unauthorized item you were trying to get into the prison. We make this decision, sir, about you finishing this sentence out in the community, and we have to consider public safety. And when I look at your rap sheet and I look at all the charges that were nollied when you were sentenced, and this was 13 months ago, so I can mention weapon in a motor vehicle, illegal discharge of a firearm, illegal transfer of a pistol or revolver, stealing a gun.
You are trash.
And those are just the gun-related charges that were nollied when you were sentenced for having a gun without a permit. I want to make sure that you understand not just that you have the 5 years on the registry that my colleague has already talked to you about, but you are a convicted felon now, sir. You may not possess firearms and ammunition for the rest of your life.
Yes, that's why I made my own tour and say, I don't want nothing to do with guns. I just want to do better. And
It's not even a choice, sir. It's not about whether or not you want to have anything to do with guns. You are prohibited by our state law.
Yes,
Off the table. Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. So give us a few minutes, Mr. Alvarado, to talk about your case, and then we will give you our decision. Okay?
Yeah.
Please don't interrupt. You can listen though, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sosowskis.
So Mr. Nolasco, Alvarado, here on the read here, was asked to complete 3 programs and not get any more disciplinary reports. He didn't complete 1 program, although he was already in that, and it was just a short time after the hearing that it completed. He did start the 2nd program, but it looks like because of 3 additional DRs, he was not able to finish that program. It's transferred to another facility, which happens after DRs, and he's not been in any other program. So he's not been able to do the things that the previous panel recommended that he complete before he comes here today. So he's 32 years old now, and he does rate low for risk of recidivism. But the nature and circumstances of this offense make me very concerned because his decision making while incarcerated has not been good. And you know, he expresses that he wants to do better, and he wants to be a better person for his family, and I believe he does want to do that.
I do too.
He hasn't provided us with the evidence that we can rely on to make a decision that he's suitable, based on his actions in the facility.
Yeah.
So, you know, regardless, he has 3 years of probation coming up after he's released, and you know, according to my documents, he'll be in a sentence this year. And if he doesn't do the things that he's saying he's going to do when he's out working and staying at home, moving out of town, if he doesn't do all those things, he's not going to make it through probation. So he really needs to do what he says when he goes on to probation and follow through, or else he's just going to be right back here if he keeps making poor decisions. So I would encourage him to follow through on the things he said. He has an opportunity, a family member that has worked for him. He has family that live in the state. If I was him, I would move near them and surround himself with family and work and take care of his family and stay away from all this nonsense and make better decisions. But for today, I cannot support discretionary parole for him based on, the nature and circumstances of this, inadequate evidence of offender change. I mean, I can go on. It's inadequate institutional program participation, poor institutional adjustment.
I have all four of
I do
them.
too.
Mhm.
I do too.
So, I mean, that's how I feel about this. I hope he can follow through on what he says.
I do too. I think that people come before us and they really think that we can like wave this magic wand and, they do tug at our hearts because we do want, to see the best for all of them. But, you have to give us something to work with. And unfortunately, he just hasn't. Ms. Turner, do you have anything to add?
I just, what the previous panel recommended would have prepared him to be successful, and he would have come before us as suitable.
Yes.
And his failures with his behavior and that keeping him out of programming, I don't find him suitable.
So with regard to Jaime Nolasco Alvarado 444179, I move that he be denied discretionary parole based on the nature and circumstance of his offense, his inadequate evidence of offender change, his inadequate program participation, and his poor institutional assessment. He will not receive a new hearing date. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, Mr. Alvarado, we couldn't support your discretionary parole. We stated clearly what our issues and concerns were, sir. We do wish you the best of luck, and you'll get this in writing shortly. Okay? Good luck to you, sir.
This concludes the hearing for Jaime.
Sir, you can go back to the unit.
No parole for Tate.
Okay?
No parole for Tate.
So,
No parole for Tate. None.
Okay.
Mr. Tate is not getting parole because of anger issues. That's what's going on here. No parole.
I don't know. For me, it never gets old. I'm trying to find the right balance. I do see some of you in the comment section that don't like it, and it puts me in a place where I just don't know, but I'm saving it to the end. I mean, it got like the first 40 minutes without any interjections. But again, I do read the comments and the emails. I'm trying to find a good balance. Maybe I stop it all together. I don't know. But I got my no parole for Tate hat. And I have a shirt. I don't know. I'm not wearing it right now. What do you think? I love it. I think it's cool. I'm going to wear it for the rest of this unpacking. And I don't know, man. It's interesting. I don't feel any empathy for him. He literally had to be good, A-okay, for like 7 months. That's it. 7, not even like 6 months. He couldn't do it. The Pruno. I'm confused about the other charge you picked up for bringing narcotics into prison. Was that the initial one? But then also, isn't it interesting? You have 2 different parole boards. Thank you, Sir Richard and Lady Holly, for connecting the dots on the spreadsheet. First of all, making it possible to know, oh, we have a parole hearing here. Let's mash it up there. It wouldn't be possible without that. So it's, we're the only channel on YouTube that actually does that. And we plan on continuing to do it for ever and ever and ever. And it's in a playlist return of, if you want to see more parole hearings where they show up multiple times. Now, the first parole hearing, it's Palmieri, Chance, and Rodriguez. And again, thank you, Holly and Rich, for putting that in a spreadsheet so I can know, because it's really hard to tell when you don't see a face. And I'm bad with matching sounds and faces. They kind of all sound similar to me. So being able to look at that and see, okay, it was Palmieri, Chance, and Rodriguez in the first one. And then the second one was Barry Zaizuskis, who's a police-like captain, and Turner. And isn't it interesting that Barry and Turner really ripped into him, or at least Turner did, I think, when by actually saying how bad his crime was, like not buying that, oh, you found the gun doing construction. It's like, no, you did all of these things. This was horrible. And you're lucky you got away with it. They kind of held him to the firewall in the first hearing. You're just left like, I don't know. I mean, he had no felonies. I don't know. Maybe it's true. He just, but then he shows up with the transformation. Looks like he, I guess, did the Islam thing. I'm not sure how they would feel about him having Pruno, right? It was just, I can't help it. That's like, you can wear the Choma necklace. Always try to use religion to get your way to manipulate the parole board. Little do they know it has nothing. It won't have it. That's one thing that I can say about these parole boards is they don't care. And whether it's Louisiana or Connecticut or Iowa, whatever, they don't care about anything. But they don't care. What they want, they're drunk. They're drunk on the program Kool-Aid. They just want to see that you took a program and that you can talk about it. It was funny. He's talking about a program, but saying it completely wrong. And the parole board member's trying to be nice. And she's like, maybe we learned it wrong, but I didn't know that they taught that in the class. Oh man, he's gonna get out very soon. His full term date, it's right around the corner. So, it wasn't funny at the end of the last one. It was like, I didn't have to take program. Guy's not very smart. Not very smart. Telling the parole board interviewer, I love guns. Anyways. Whew. Okay. Oh, I just clicked something on my second computer. I'm always running two computers, recording all these parole hearings. Sometimes I'm running 5. I have 2 laptops, 2 computers, 3 laptops and 2 computers doing recordings. It's that intense. So there you have it. And if you have not signed up to Aura, use the link below. It supports Aura, it supports the channel, and you will probably appreciate it. And with that, I'll let you go.
You were at this apartment building to see your girlfriend.
Yes, ma'am.
You parked your car and the victim was yelling at you from the window about how you or where you parked your car. And then
Yes.
you took out your gun and you shot it at his car.
Yes, miss.
Okay. How many times did you shoot your gun?
Twice. 2 times.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
2 weeks later, I got locked up. So that's why I got the gun. The gun was clean. I was supposed to be, it was clean because I bought it on the street. But the gun came out was stolen. I didn't know that. The police just told me that.
The grenades and the stuff that they found in the apartment.